The Stars Are Brightly Shining by Dakota Storm, Bogan Thompson.
It's Christmas Eve, 2024. The place? Anderson Creek, Lincolnshire. It's a festive season, like any other. People are in their homes, Christmas tree lights on, carols playing in the background, laughter in the air. In some people's experience, the event of Christmas has become uneventful. Others still love the magic of it all. From the smell of a turkey cooking in the oven to the biting frost outside. This Christmas Eve, though, is slightly different. High up in the sky, a meteor shower is occurring. Many people in Anderson Creek are outside, observing the marvel, wrapped up in coats and scarves, telling their children to make a wish. One particular man, Anton Jones, is also making a wish for change. He is bored with his life, every day almost identical to each other. Anton is wishing for excitement, adventure, anything to lift him from his rut. This wish, unfortunately, will be granted. Anton lives alone. He has no family and no friends. Only work colleagues who couldn't care less if he lived or died. After the meteor shower has ended, everyone, including Anton, goes indoors. Anderson Creek is a holiday resort, with all the things that you would expect. The place is host to several pubs, an amusement arcade, a small fairground, a fishing lake, several large caravan parks, and 8 medium-sized, intertwined estates. The soft sandy beach is home to some dunes, and a family of badgers. This particular night, an old man in his early 80s is walking along the promenade. He too saw the meteor shower and gazed in admiration. Up in space, a few meteorites are still approaching the Earth. Nobody will see these meteors burn up in the atmosphere. One of the meteors is travelling at a far higher speed than the other ones, and seems to be comprised mostly of metal. Not rough ancient ore, but rather refined, smooth plates attached together almost invisibly into a ball. The metal sphere soon reaches the atmosphere and begins to superheat and glow red. Usually, metal at this incredible temperature will melt or become deformed, but this metal is seemingly indestructible. As the orb gets closer to the Earth, it is struck by a large, high-flying seagull. The bird dies instantly, and the metal object's direction changes slightly. The old man looks up to see this glowing red ball falling from the sky, almost towards him. He holds up his hands defensively, but the sphere suddenly changes direction and impacts at high speed into the sand with a deafening crash. The sound is made even louder for the old man due to the fact that he has a hearing aid. Clutching his ear, he decides to walk down the stone steps that connect the promenade and the beach together to investigate the crashed meteorite. The area around the metal meteor is shrouded in smoke, and the old man holds a handkerchief to his face as a filter. The old man reaches the crater and peers down into it. Unable to see much, he decides to walk onto the hot sand, happy in the knowledge that his leather-soled shoes will protect his feet. He finds the object, half buried in the ground. It is around the size of a large football and covered in dirt from the impact. The old man moves his face closer towards the orb and feels the searing heat against his face. Suddenly, the orb splits in half, revealing a dark interior. The old man thinks a moment before moving his face closer to the now open sphere. There is a rustling from within the object, and suddenly a leathery, tentacled creature launches itself at the old man's face. The old man staggers back as the creature pushes its appendages into his ears. The old man's eyes roll into the back of his head, and he falls backwards, dead. The creature, realizing its victim is dead, uses its tentacles to read the lifeless corpse's mind, sucking all of the knowledge out of the brain into its own. After a few moments, the creature disengages and leaps off of the dead man's head onto the cooler sand before crawling towards the promenade and the seaside town. Meanwhile, Anton is busy putting mini sausage rolls in his oven to have the next day. In the background, Christmas carols are playing, to which Anton is humming. Despite not having any family or friends, he likes to put up a Christmas tree and a few decorations. It reminds him of his childhood and all the people he knew and loved. Anton sits down in his armchair next to his Christmas tree and sighs before leaning forward and picking up his TV remote from the small wooden table. Anton switches on the television and flicks through the channels, trying to find an old movie. Eventually, he finds one, featuring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. He's watched it many times before, but he always feels a sense of wonder when he's watching it, spotting new details in the background. As the night drags on, Anton slowly begins to nod off, falling into a deep sleep. All is quiet. Outside, a cat is prowling around, looking for a mouse to kill, in order to fulfill its sinister lust to hunt and slaughter. A slight hiss comes from the shadows. The cat looks into the dark but cannot see anything. The hissing gets louder. The cat's fur stands on end, ready to fight, believing it to be another cat. The creature rushes out at high speed, too fast for the cat to react, wraps its tentacles around the feline's neck and rips its head off of the body, killing it instantly. The creature uses a smaller, stubby tentacle to dip into the dead cat's blood and feed. The creature looks around the road, its lidless eye glistening in the lamplight. The creature sees a white door with a gold-coloured letter flap. It darts over and opens the flap before squeezing through. The creature lands on a concrete floor in a green corridor. Slowly, it moves down the corridor, its tentacle feet tapping as it walks. The creature reaches the stairs and studies them. They are edged with shining metal and painted black, constructed from concrete, and have been well used. The creature starts to slowly ascend the stairs, making its way up to Anton's flat. Anton wakes up as the end credits are rolling on the movie. Rubbing his face, he gets up and goes into the kitchen to take his sausage rolls out of the oven. He realizes that the door to the stairs is open and there is a cold draft. Anton closes the door and rubs his shoulders. After putting his sausage rolls in the fridge, he steps into the sunroom and looks out of the window. The sky is black and moonless. Just a few stars glisten like jewels on satin. Chewing his lip, Anton goes back into the kitchen and looks around. He thinks about how wonderful it would be to have a family there, to enjoy the festivities with. Anton suddenly hears a sound. It takes him by surprise. Somewhere in the kitchen, Anton can hear breathing. The sound is very slight, but it's there. Anton starts looking around the floor of the kitchen, behind the bin, inside his shoes, down the side of the fridge freezer, but there is nothing. While he does this, the creature sits on the top of his cupboard, shrunk into the corner, immobile. The creature's unblinking eye follows Anton as he walks around. The creature thinks that the human body is highly inefficient, with its gangly limbs and brittle bones and strange tufts of hair. Anton goes still. The breathing has stopped. Listening hard, he tries to hear the sound again, but to no avail. Just as he moves to go into the living room, Anton hears a scraping sound. Anton turns just in time to see something black, moving like a flash, run underneath a small cupboard. Grabbing a torch from the surface by the sink, Anton gets down on his hands and knees and looks under the cupboard. Anton sees a black mass hugging the wall, a single eye on a stalk, staring at him. "What the hell?" says Anton. The creature twitches and lunges at Anton's face, latching on. Trying desperately to tear the creature from his face, Anton staggers to his feet and makes a run at the door, hoping to stun his adversary. The creature drops to the floor upon impact, turns and looks at Anton. Wiping blood from his face, Anton steps over to his bin and picks up a baseball bat that he keeps there for emergencies. The creature continues to stare at Anton, breathing deeply. Anton moves to hit the strange organism, but it is faster than he is and grabs his head again. The creature maneuvers to sit on the top of Anton's head before pushing two of its tentacles into his ears. Anton shakes violently before dropping to his knees. Anton's eyes roll into the back of his head, the room starting to glow and flash with different colours. The creature throbs with pleasure as it sucks out the memories and thoughts of its victims, gaining his intelligence and knowledge of the world. The creature did not think of the humans as an intelligent life form, beings that were self-aware and able to create technological marvels. It thought of them as food. Nothing more, nothing less. Countless billions of life forms to savor and learn from. The creature took its tentacles out of Anton's ears and jumped off, leaving the body to teeter before falling, dead, to the floor. The creature, with its extracted knowledge, left the building the way it had come, undeterred by the freezing temperatures, the now falling snow, and the sound of late-night carolers singing, "God rest ye, merry gentlemen."
Merry Christmas, one and all.